Welcome back for another edition of Less Kevin, More Tech from UTECit.com. And we probably need to change it because today you do have more Kevin and you have less. And we have Christine Lippert, our marketing person, setting in, running the reins, right?
Yep, that's right.
So, Christine, we got a guest today that we are excited about having.
This is going to be fun.
Yes. And if we said it was Mrs. Mazurek, everybody would be confused. But if we said it was the marvelous Megan, they would know who we're talking about.
I like
and
that.
They know her face from all over Ann Arbor because there's not something that doesn't happen in Washtenaw County that you're not part of, is there?
Well, nothing fun doesn't happen without me.
That is true. You're a party in a box, right?
Yes.
Just open it up and boom, we've got Megan.
Here I am.
So, no, seriously, Megan, you are all over town, right? And your day job is a realtor, I think, right?
Yes,
Charles
day
Reinhart?
and night and
Day
weekend
night,
job.
Weekend job. But how do you find time to do all the other things that you do?
It's a challenge, and, I do say no because I do put my clients first, but luckily I can usually schedule things around other events and try to be at as much as possible to give back to the community.
So you've been a swim coach for Dexter, right?
So I coached in Celine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, with Dexter, they don't. The Doughboys aren't good enough for you. We're a Celine Hornet, right?
Yes.
And then I think it's been every chamber, every foundation, every nonprofit, and right now WXW is the big one, right?
Yes. Well, so my first grown-up job was at the Ann Arbor Chamber before they merged, while I was still coaching swimming. And through that, Deborah Power and Carrie Hensel were on the board for the chamber, and they were talking about a way to have something in addition to, they were sick of the old boys network, and they were like, what can we do? And so they started WXW, and I had just started interning at the chamber.
Women's Exchange of Washtenaw.
Yes, thank you. Yes, the Women's Exchange of Washtenaw. And I was interning at the chamber at the time. And so I have literally been involved with WXW since the start. It's like the planning phases started in 2007, and then they had their first annual conference in 2008. So through
I didn't realize it's been going on for that long.
Yeah.
Has the chamber forgiven you for stealing from them?
Stealing what?
Oh, you took that stud muffin Kyle from us.
Well, I left first, and then he left a month later, but I think they're okay. We still go to chamber events, so I think
They've forgiven you.
I think they've forgiven
Diane's
us.
letting you back in. Andy's blessed it, and you're good.
Yeah, well, because I think Andy loved it because Andy took over for Kyle's job. So I think maybe they were like, "Thank you for getting rid of him. We love Andy."
Andy is loved, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
There's no one like him to lead the early edition events. He kills it.
Yeah.
every month.
Yeah. So, Women's Exchange of Washtenaw. What do we have an event coming up?
Yes, and we are so excited for your partnership with this event. So our annual conference, which is like our signature event, it's an all-day event, is coming up on Wednesday, October 30th. So it is coming up quickly, but there's still time for people to register. And this is an all-day conference featuring 3 sessions of workshops, an incredible panel, a networking reception at the end of the day, fabulous prizes throughout the day, and other fun surprises and networking opportunities. But it's hard to kind of like put into words the energy of this event and how people truly make connections. And I know people say this and they go to all these other networking events, but there's just something different about this event and this conference and being able to be around women that might not be in the same field as you, but you can talk about a problem and you can kind of think about it from different angles and work together to, WXW was based on now we're talking. And so it's really about communicating and talking with each other, not just going and sitting to someone speak to you all day, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of interaction, which is really special.
Very dynamic. Right?
Yeah, I went to my first forum last year, and I was surprised. I didn't know what to expect, and I loved it. I'm looking forward to this year's.
Good. Yeah.
And even the breakout sessions, that we did, it was very interactive. It wasn't just sitting and watching someone do a PowerPoint or going through. I mean, it was extremely interactive with everybody.
Yeah, we pride ourselves on that. When we find speakers to speak at this event, we kind of tell them up front, like, this isn't a teacher classroom lecture style. We want it as interactive as possible. So and last year was our first forum back in person since 2019, which was huge to finally be able to get back in a room with everyone and feel safe and comfortable being together. So I'm so glad that you were able to come last year.
Yeah, it was great. And the workshops in the topics, they're so broad and different. I mean, there's something for everybody at each of the 3 different, signups, whether it's marketing or leadership or social or whatever it is. There's really something for everybody.
Yeah, we have a workshop this year about starting a podcast, building a website, like kind of marketing 101, kind of to jumpstart you into what you're doing. So we really try to have something for everyone, so you can take something away from the day.
Now, you said you felt safe being together in a big room. Was that because Les wasn't there?
I mean, I didn't want to out him on this podcast, but it was
just like here, he's not here. You know what I mean? So
that's why I'm here. I'm finally here. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask a really stupid question because that's my specialty here. Are men welcome at this thing?
Yes. We would love to have you. I will say, I don't know why more men...
Say that again because nobody's ever said that.
We would love to have you at the forum. I don't know why more men don't come. I would, if the tables were turned, I would always be at...
There was only a couple last year.
MXM or MXW, yeah. So, I mean, sometimes we have sponsors and they'll come. We had a sponsor from day one, David Duffy, who has since retired. He was like a CPA, and he sponsored us every year, and he came to a few forums. So we love it, but we don't tend to get very many men, but they are welcome to join us.
Well, if they're smart, they would, right?
Yeah, I know.
Because it's a great way to network, and it's a great way to meet people. I mean, it's geared around women, right? Hence the name, but it's an opportunity for everybody to come together and understand challenges, problems, things we're doing well, right? Things that are going well, and talk about successes.
And the topics aren't women-focused topics. It's just we try to highlight women speakers to present at our events, if that makes sense. So it's not like not like how to build a website for a woman. It's how to build a website, led by a female speaker, which is great. So yeah, exactly.
And there's some amazing talent you got to pull from around here too, to have speakers and knowledge-based people and not just knowledge-based, but exciting and fun to participate and listen to, right?
We are really lucky and fortunate to be in Washtenaw County and to be surrounded by so many people that years into this, we can still pool different people. It's not the same person coming every time. So
the panel and the workshops are like totally different from last year.
Yeah, which can be hard to try to rotate that and find new speakers. But and the panel seems to always be a real highlight that people really take away. And so we have an incredible panel. And we,
Shannon's on it this year, right?
Yeah,
Polk?
Shannon Polk
so
from
she's been on
the
our podcast
Community
before.
Foundation.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so she's going to be on it, which is really exciting because I don't think she was at the event last year, so this would be her first time at the forum, which is exciting.
Yeah, well she's always fun and just a joy to talk to, and it's a lot of fun. But it's at Morris Lawrence, right?
Yes, at WCC.
And so we talk about great women leaders. We have one right there with
Yes.
Rose, right?
Yes, well, and our hope, it's not final yet, but our hope is that she will kick off the day and do like some welcome remarks for us in the morning, which would be amazing.
I'm pretty sure you can get Rose to do that.
Yeah.
She's very accommodating,
Yes.
and she's a great face for the university and a great leader with vision.
Yes.
So I'm sure she's going to want to be there.
And if her schedule doesn't allow, we're there all day. So she can talk to us at lunch. She can talk to us during our evening reception.
All right, Rose, pressure's on you.
I know.
No excuses, all right?
Yeah.
So how, for people that are just hearing about it for the first time, they got a week and a half to sign up. So what does the day look like? You go in, there's light breakfast, right?
We're going to do like a coffee hour.
Okay.
So we're the first 30 minutes are basically like you're checking in, getting settled, sitting down, having coffee, starting to network. And then basically the first 90 minutes are going to be opening remarks, a fun icebreaker / networking opportunity that I haven't done yet. I haven't figured out what we're doing, but it's going to be great. It's going to happen. And then we're going to go into our morning workshop. So our workshop is an hour. You have 4 workshops to choose from, and it'll be a 60-minute interactive workshop. And then we'll come back to the main area for a delicious lunch, and then we'll kick off our panel. We'll have a panel and then Q&A, and then we'll go from there we'll have 2 afternoon workshops. And again, you'll have 4 different workshops to choose from during both session. And then we'll wrap up and then end the day with a reception. And so some people leave right at the end of the day, and some people stay. Each year is a little different for like an hour. And we've been at this event for like 3 hours afterwards. It just kind of depends on the conversation and who's staying. And then, like I said, our sponsors are invited to donate a raffle basket. And so we'll have drawings throughout the day for fabulous raffle prizes.
Yeah. So this is more than just moms and minivans, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm not a mom, and I don't have a minivan, and
Same.
I go, so.
Yeah. Same.
No, we love it. So that's a great event, and we want to make sure we highlighted that. That's October 30th.
Yes.
And it's coming up right here at Morris Lawrence Center. Yep. And it's the Women Exchange at Washtenaw County.
Yes.
Is the website, is it WXW Forum?
WXWbusiness.com.
Okay.
And
that's
then
where
it's
people
right on
can
the
sign up to
homepage.
go.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the information, all the details are there. But I've watched you from afar. I remember from the chamber days, you said you were an intern, right? And working with you at the chamber board. But it's been really neat to see, you're younger than me by just a couple of years.
Just a couple, I feel.
But, all right, Bazooka, go easy on me, man. That was a layup. But it's really neat to see how engaged you've gotten in the community. I don't think all the young people always think of that. What drives you to do that? Was there a role model? Was it something that you learned from your parents? Is it just something you came about yourself?
Well, being involved with the chamber at a young age was such a huge privilege because I got to meet so many people in our community that other, right out of college people wouldn't have the opportunity to meet. But I think the opportunity to be involved with WXW was huge from the get-go. But joining Reinhart, so I left the chamber and joined the Charles Reinhart Company in 2010, and one of my roles there, before I started actually selling real estate, I did marketing, and one of my roles was to meet with the president at the time, David Lutton, and we'd go over I've never seen like stacks of mail this high, but like all of the mail he got with all of the requests for giving, and it was like really eye-opening to see all of the nonprofits out there that I had never heard. I mean, some, like everyone's heard of Food Gatherers, but there were some that it's like I'd never heard of. And going through all of that, and I think that exposure to all of the nonprofits and just knowing the need was so great. And another one of my early roles at Reinhart was being in charge of our United Way campaign and being like the lead internally. And so getting involved with United Way at such an early age, and then I was on the board for United Way, and just that exposure. And I love being around people, so it's fun for me to be involved with things. And I feel like it's our duty to at least do, you don't have to do like everything. I feel like I do a lot, but at least do something. Like you can make an impact, even if it's just really small, but just getting involved with one thing to make a difference is huge.
I love that because I think I've felt that same way too, right? You have an obligation, I feel, as a business stakeholder in the community to give back and make the community better. But it's really interesting because you got the big ones. You mentioned United Way. There's the American Cancer Society, and Susan Komen, and all these great organizations at a big level. But what I've really liked about Ann Arbor is that there's so many fabulous, interesting, and worthwhile small organizations that you really make a big impact. So it's not always the big check that you give somebody. But it's the involvement, right? Working hard for it.
Right. Well, and don't get me wrong, every nonprofit needs money, but they also need people. Like they need volunteers. They can't do the work that they need to do without the help. And so whether you're giving the big check or you can donate a couple of hours of your time, there's so much need across the board. And so just finding where you fit and doing something. And there's a nonprofit out there for everything. So whatever you're passionate about, you can find something to get involved with.
So what are the other foundations and boards that you're part of besides WXW?
Yeah, so this is my second year on the board for Girls Group, and that started 20 years ago. Last year we were celebrating 20 years, and it's a group in Ann Arbor that is in middle schools and high schools in Ann Arbor schools, and we're now this year our big promotion at our upcoming event is kind of bridging, and we're going to start to really make an impact in Ypsilanti, which is amazing. But basically it's like after school and during school groups for girls to kind of help them, first of all, just get through school, get through middle school, get to high school, and then get through high school. And then what does that mean? Not everyone has the same goal after they graduate high school. If it's to get to a 4-year program because they think that's unheard of, they've never seen anyone go to college to be able to show them that they can, or whether it's a 2-year degree or whether it's something in the trades, but like getting them to that next step. And so it's like a mentorship program, which is really
It's very cool.
a really cool group to be a part of. And then through Reinhart, we have a foundation. So I just got back on our Reinhart Charitable Foundation board, and I'm on another foundation board through our association of real estate agents. So just like 4 right now.
Just
Right now.
Just those 4, yeah. But this is my 6th year as president of WXW, and next year I finally get to be past president. And so I'm very excited that we finally have this like leadership transition plan. And so I'm excited to still be involved with WXW, but it's going to feel really good to take a bit of a step back and just...
until someone else says, "Hey, Megan,
I know.
you want to sit on this board?"
Oh, my email changed. Sorry. No, just kidding. But yes.
So, deeply involved in community.
Yes.
Is it hard to balance all the stuff you do? I mean, you got a full-time job that's more than 40 hours if you're doing it right as a realtor, right?
Yes.
You know, people think,
Yes.
but it's evenings, it's weekends, and, you know, you've got to find your prospects, you've got to listings, go source all that. So, you know, when you talk about the house during the day and all that, and you still stayed married to Kyle.
I know. Well, he's so lucky to have me. So, you know, I mean, the fact that I can do this right now because I'm not at a traditional 9-to-5 job where I'm like locked into my desk. So I have flexibility to check emails early this morning and come do this, or like I'm more of a night owl. I'd rather work later at night. So to be able to fit everything in because I can spread out my day sort of however I want. It kind of, I mean, it depends on what houses come on the market and what I need to show and all of that. But it helps that I don't have to do nonprofit stuff mostly on the weekends, and I show a lot of houses on the weekends. So every day it's like, you know, kind of like that's like filling out your schedule because you don't know what the day is going to hold. You don't know who's going to call you to be like, I need to see this house, or I'm thinking about listing my house. So trying to fit it all in can be a challenge for sure, but just, I don't know. It's worked so far. I don't know. I don't really know how. I also
It can't be boring. Every day's different.
No, yeah. I rely heavily on energy drinks. They're great.
I know you want to talk about all the philanthropy you're doing and all the good stuff in the area, but I do want to talk about the house. I want to ask you about that. You know, just I'm curious. Yes.
Yeah. What do you want to know?
But it's a great community, right? To sell houses in, and it's in high demand, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, that's our biggest challenge is that there's not enough inventory in the market because people want to be here and people come here and then they don't leave. It's a huge, I mean, it's great, but that's also part of the problem is people come here. And so instead of like leaving every 7 to 8 years, we have people that are in their homes for 30, 40, 50 years. And so we don't have the inventory for the demand that we have to be in this. And not just like in Ann Arbor, but all of Washtenaw County to be.
I was going to say, I feel like there's even more, more developments and more building even going up. And they're not these huge houses. I mean, they're starter homes. But, I mean, they're really nice, but they're a little smaller homes.
Right.
But there's, like in Saline where I live, there's neighborhoods going up all over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially like by like Michigan Ave and by like, I guess east of Saline too, I grew up in Saline too. There's definitely new construction. I think it's hard because, you know, the starter home is a bit of a hard term to use because everyone is kind of has a different price point of what they can afford. But there's the luxury market, which we used to define as like 500,000 and above, but now it's like 800,000 or 900,000 and above. And the 600 and below market, there's just not enough homes to fill the demand, no matter where you are. And even with new construction, it can be hard because it still can be expensive because you want all of the nice finishes. And once you start adding up all of the
Especially
upgrades, your number is not
home,
where those
right.
signs are on the, like, oh, you can get a house for 300, and then it's all of a sudden you've spent 150 on upgrades. So
Yeah.
that can
But
be.
it's just interesting because it is such a challenge, right, to finding, because that's an issue that I know it needs to be addressed, right? Affordable housing and finding
Yes.
houses. I've got a daughter that's has been recently engaged, and they're talking about looking for a house, and I was thinking I want to do that old man thing here, but how much we paid for our first house and what these kids are now talking about for houses. It's an interesting dynamic, right?
Yeah. Well, and the competition is so huge because even like a first-time home buyer in that like $300,000, $400,000 range, you're competing against people whose parents just gave them $400,000 cash to buy the house. So the competition is huge. So it's a challenge. Deals are happening. It's a little bit slower of a market right now. So in some ways, that's a great time for a buyer to come in at this point in the market because, like I always tell people as we head into the end of the year, like these are people that need to sell. This isn't let's just test the market and see what happens. These are people that are job transfers, divorces, for whatever reason they're selling. So it can be a good time for buyers.
Well, I asked you that. I know you were reluctant to talk about just housing here because you wanted to keep a focus on all the great things you're doing in the community and the Women's Exchange. But I wanted people to realize that that you're at the top of your craft, and if they want real estate, that there's a great resource here for education, understanding the market.
Thank you.
And you're gonna do well. I mean, a real estate agent's right to bring a willing buyer to a willing seller and merge it. But there's a lot more that goes into that than just doing that. And you understand that, don't you?
Yes. Oh, yeah. You wear many hats, like a therapist, a relationship coach.
And you're pretty good at it too, right? Go ahead and brag.
I'm pretty great. I'm the former Realtor of the Year. No big deal. It's like
That's what I was fishing for. That's what I wanted you to say.
Yes. Yeah. And it's hard because it's much easier for me to talk about nonprofits and that, but I do have to, I think that's the challenge of communicating to people that I am still successful at selling real estate, and that is my focus, that, I'm not just like a professional nonprofit helper. Yeah. Like it's easier to like post on social about nonprofits than post about the day-to-day.
So now are you going to defend the title? You can be Realtor of the Year for 2 years
They
in a
don't
row?
really, well, so I've been nominated more than once, but they don't really,
I know that can spread the wealth, yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Maybe
think
if you got a jingle.
that's so, I know. Who here, do you guys
would
have a
put
jingle
you
for this
over the edge.
podcast? We could go in
No,
on this
we've
together
got-
to get
we've
like
got
a
walk-up
jingle
music.
Yeah.
person to help us. I know.
That's our next project.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll keep everybody
have it
suspense. They
by
get two
March
back in
Madness.
for another one.
Yeah.
Yes. And you've been a great supporter of our March Madness. And anybody that's been here knows when Megan's here and when she's not here, right?
Yes.
That
Yes.
is the best event of the year. I tell people WXW's Forum is the best event of the year, but I think if I really was like ranking them.
I think one year, was it a couple years ago, you won one of the raffles. Did you win like Tiger tickets or something?
Yes.
And you were just screaming, and everyone in the room just like stopped, like, who is this?
And
then they
also
saw us
love
Megan,
to
like,
win stuff. So no matter what the prize is, and I got a signed Dylan Larkin hockey puck.
Yeah.
yeah. I think we got a couple of things that year.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
See, our March
and a
Madness
t-shirt.
is inclusive. We say men and women.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But I have my UTEC t-shirt. It's very soft. It's very nice. I don't think I won that. I think you just gave it to me.
Yes.
But
Yeah. We want you repping that.
yeah.
So,
It's very nice.
but no, we'll see you again this year at March Madness, but we'll see you sooner than that because we'll see
Yes.
you at
I'll be there. Yep.
Women's Exchange of Washtenaw County.
Yeah, you
October
can get your
30th.
ticket right now.
I can't. I just go right here on the phone
Yeah.
and just do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we also get at the door for those
yes, it's a
procrastinators.
little bit more expensive at the door, but you're still welcome.
And anybody is welcome to come to that.
Yes.
And they should come to that if they're interested in what's happening in the area interested in building connections, listening to motivational speakers, being a participant in that.
Yeah.
The workshops,
Yeah.
You're gonna take away a lot.
Yeah. We have 3 workshop sessions, an incredible panel. It's going to be a really great day.
All right, so we don't have the bourbon here. I don't know what happened. You know, it's because Les is not here. He's probably got it in his car.
Yeah.
But so we don't have that to go with, Christine. So we always like to end the show with something. Okay.
What's your favorite bourbon?
Yeah.
What's your
so-
favorite?
And I think her answer would be all when we say that. You know, so we'll just skip past that.
Okay.
So what should we do? Like favorite house color or favorite community?
Gosh.
But we got to come up with something real estate related. What's your favorite? What's your favorite thing to do with Kyle? Because this would be really interesting because you're so busy.
We are known for our pizza and wine nights. I always post about our pizzas, and people are like, "Why does your pizza look so good?" So
You make the pizza?
no,
Okay.
no. My favorites on my phone are Kyle and Cottage Gin.
So
But we
what's
spice
your favorite
it.
place around here to
Toppings.
get a pizza?
Okay, I get a large thin crust cheese pizza with garlic butter crust, and then I put oregano, basil, crushed red pepper, and a little bit of garlic on it. Then I dip it in Hidden Valley Ranch dressing that I put cayenne pepper in to make a spicy ranch sauce, and it is so good. And I eat the whole pizza. I save the 4 corners for Kyle. And so now he has to get his own pizza. Like, he tried to split, and I was like, I don't share. Like, I'm Joey from Friends. I don't share food.
I think next to Sarah Miller and you two are the most specific when it comes to food. That's pretty bazooka. Would you do one of those pizzas?
It's so good.
So you just leave. So it's square.
It's a wrap. Here, I'll show you a recent picture I had.
So you just have the
it's like a
4
circle, but then they cut it into square pieces. But then I usually cut the square pieces in half, so I have just like little thin strips that I dip in my ranch.
And then he just gets the 4 little corners.
Yeah, but now
Poor
he
Kyle.
orders his own pizza
okay.
because, but sometimes he's not that hungry, so he likes to share. So when he wants to share, what I'll do is I'll order like the breadsticks so that he can have the breadsticks. Because I'm like, you can't, like, there's not, and I've asked Kajin about this before, but they don't do extra large for thin crust. They only do extra large pizzas for the others.
So what kind of wine do you like to pair with it?
Red wine. So a lot of times we'll do 2 bottles of reds, and then like compare which one we like better. We like up north reds because we go up north a lot, so we like to support the state of Michigan and just buy as much red wine from up north as possible.
Love it.
We really like to give back, so
Pizza, wine.
yeah.
All right, so there you have it. If you buy a house from Megan, you get to come over for pizza night. You'll go to their place and have pizza night with them and bring a bottle of wine,
Yeah,
right?
I do give my clients lots of gift cards, like pizza. I'll give them ice cream, like lotto tickets, so
Perfect.
they love me for that too.
Love it. Well, thank you for having us on, but more importantly, thank you for all the work you do in our community. Thank you for being a great ambassador. Thank you for connecting so many wonderful people, and thank you for doing it with a smile and high energy. I love it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. This was less scary than I thought.
I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yes, I can't wait.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.